Okay guys, so we're going to give you a quick run through of the new Redvision system. I'm going to try and keep this simple for you just to give you an overview on how to operate this. So as you'll see now, the screen is turned off. This is how you'd find the system when you first come into the trailer. So the first thing we're going to do to turn the system or activate the system and bring the screen on, if we double click the standby button, so we press this twice, this will bring on whatever we left in the memory turned on before we switched off last time we left the trailer. So all we've got on at the minute, as you can see down in this corner, the I with the bulb here stands for internal lights. So you'll see this go dark in a second. If I turn this off, that's turning the internal lights off, turning them on. So wherever we've got these switches down either side, whatever it's pointing to is what it's going to activate. So just as a bit of an overview, from the top left hand corner we've got the awning light. So both these top buttons are going to suit the awning lights. One is for amber, which is illustrated with an A, and then you've got the white lights as well. So these will be for the underside the awning. We can either choose to run them white or amber. You'll find once you've chosen one, the opposite is going to be locked. So to switch across, we've got to physically turn that one off and turn the next one on. So very simple on that side. To the right hand side, we've got a bulb here with an E in, which actually stands for external light or driver's side light, as we like to refer to it. That is just a white globe now. So if we turn that on, that's just bringing that light on as white on the driver's side. You've got a tap down here, which is going to be for your water pump. So simply turn on as and when you need to. As I highlighted earlier, this will actually save these presets. So if these are turned on at the minute and I turn this off by double clicking, obviously everything is going to be turned off. But again, once we turn this back on, these will remain on from what we left on last time. So that's just touching on your first initial switches. As you can see, in the center of this screen is highlighting quite a bit of key information for us. So at the top left, you've got the time. We've got the temperature here to the right. Underneath is where we're going to start with the main chunk of information. So percentage is here, the battery percentage, which is going to be one of your go-tos when you come to this screen. That's going to be the main thing you're looking for. It'll tell us by the arrow pointing down that we're basically losing power at the minute because we've got appliances running with no power coming in. So if we were at the rate we are now, we've got 1 day until we're flat, basically. So you'll see a percentage bar on here on your battery status. At the side, we've got a little car, which is obviously highlighting tow vehicle. We've got a sun for the solar, and we've got a plug connection for 240. So this will show to you where your power's coming from. And then underneath this, we've got the water tank levels. So you've got F for front, D for, if I bring that back on, or off, sorry, D for drinking, we've got G for grey, and then we've got R for recycle. So that's highlighting the different tank options in this trailer. So just on them tanks, we've outlined what each one stands for. Obviously, depending on the trailer and what the customer's chosen for, these are going to change on depending on what tanks you've got in there. So it really just depends what options you've taken. This is all highlighted through your phone app as well, which we'll touch on in a second. Just on this side of it now, if we, on this overview side of it, if we scroll to the right, which is down on the bottom right hand corner here, this will take you into more information on this. So you don't necessarily need to know all this. It is valuable information for some people, but the overview is done on the home screen. So this will tell us actually where as power is getting used as to what power we're drawing in. So at the minute, the charger's not using anything because we haven't got a charge coming in. So the output that is on the batteries is 5.5 amps, which is what we're using. So these numbers will change obviously all the time as you're pulling in a charge or as you're using different appliances. The good thing to outline with this is you can get an overview on each appliance as you're running it, because obviously this will tell you the consumption that it uses. Down the bottom we've got the solar, we've got a battery voltage, and then we've also got a battery temperature as well. Down the sides you can scroll into this if need be. We do advise to most customers you don't need to necessarily. This will take you into further information on each side of it. So state of charge per hour we've got here, state of charge per day. So for a lot of people, they're not going to need to know this, but it is there if you do need it. The arrows will highlight to you where you need to go on these. So if you do get stuck, obviously we can see the arrow pointing back there if we do want to go back. So this is as far as this will allow us to go on the right side. From here we can scroll down, which on here, this is where we actually turn our inverter on. So we can't run any information through this, being that we're not using the red arc inverters, but we can actually switch the inverter on through here and switch it off. So that's going to be all we're going to do on this screen. So moving back, we'll go back up, we'll move left back to his home screen. And then what we'll do is if we scroll down here, just on this side of it, we've got a few more switches, which is again going off the main screen. This in the matrix in this particular trailer is where you'd turn your fridge on. So this would be the same in the Quantum Plus as well, that's using this system too. The second one down is actually more dependent on an option. So if you had a 12 volt socket in specific to running a second fridge, this is where you'd activate the second switch. If you don't have that option, it's not going to apply to that. So we'll turn the fridge off in this one, so we'll scroll back up. This is only as far down as you can get to, so you've only got the two screens up and down from the main side. As I say, we've pressing right, we've gone into more information, and then we can scroll down if need be. So from here, from the main screen, we'll press left, which will take us into a settings side. So by pressing left from the home screen, going off these two bottom buttons in the right hand corner, we can scroll right or left. We've gone left now into the settings side. On here we don't need to be playing around with too much. There's a lot of things in here that are obviously preset what we do from factory. So the only things I'm going to outline on this screen is this one here, which shows a little caravan underneath the cover, which is going to be if you want to put this system into storage mode. So if we click on this, you'll see here it says system mode. We've got touring at the minute, which is your travel mode. If you're going to be storing the trailer, we do advise to put it into this storage mode, just being that it shuts everything down, or it doesn't use as much power then, so in turn it lasts longer, and it just completely puts that system on lockdown. So brilliant feature for that storage purpose. So if we show from here, from touring, we can scroll right or left. If we see storage is now on, if we were going into storage, we'd hit the green tick, and then it'll say to us, do we want to save that setting before we do that? So if we did that, that'll then put it into storage mode. Everything will shut down. This means we're leaving the trailer as it is. We're not coming in and out every couple of days and checking things. If it's in storage mode, you just leave it until next time you come to it. So we'll come out of this for the second because we want to stay in. Same as the old system, if you've got it in storage mode, once you connect your Anderson up from your tow vehicle, it'll actually convert the system back to touring mode. So for a lot of people that are a bit dubious about having to switch that back over, it will automatically do it for you. The last thing that I'm going to touch on in these settings is if we scroll up, we can see here that we've got a little Bluetooth icon. If we click on this, this is where we can actually pair the system to your phone. So it'll only link to one phone at a time, but obviously great feature being that you can use this outside or different parts of the trailer. You don't have to come back to this screen all the time. So once you've paired it with your phone, you can then check your water tank levels, switching, so you can turn your lights on and off through this. You can turn your fridges off, your water pumps. So a lot of the time you will work off your phone, and then you've got the screen here if you obviously for ease, or if you want to resort back to this. So we'll just come out of this. The rest of the settings are there for things like times, dates, which you can kind of see on this side of it. You've got here display, so lighting, that side of it. You don't really need to be playing around with that side. So in settings, all I'll outline will be the storage mode, the Bluetooth. That should all be that you need. So just in a nutshell, main screen, if we press left we go into a settings. From the main screen, if we press right we go into further information, and then on these we can scroll up and down just to see what else we can get out of them screens, but just the three sides that we scroll through mainly. So lastly, we've shown you an overview of the system and how to operate it. When you're leaving the trailer, the last thing you're going to do is same as we did when we came in, is we're going to press this twice, which in turn locks everything. And as you'll see on these icons now, they've got little locks against them, which means that they're turned off and you can't physically turn them on now unless we turn the power on again. So very easy. That's going to be your button that you're going to be pressing as you come in and out of the trailer. So again, once we've turned this off, you'll see everything's locked. Now the only thing that you can turn on manually from this is going to be your fridge. So if your fridge was on before you turn this off, it's not going to turn it off. Your fridge is on a separate circuit, and as you can see, I can physically turn this on even though everything else is locked. So we have two sides. We have the 12 volt circuit and we have the 24-hour circuit. These certain features that are going to be on that 24-hour circuit which aren't going to be impacted by what you press in here. So fridge you can control through here, things like your toilet flusher, your night light light switch, your diesel heater for one, they're always going to have constant power regardless of what you're turning on and off through your Red Arc, so you can operate them on a night when this system may be turned off. Hope that helps, guys, but any questions, just give us a call.